XRP is set to launch a XRP spot ETF tomorrow by 21 shares. That is a big, big day. The European crypto firm 21 Shares has confirmed that its US spot XRP ETF will officially begin trading tomorrow. Is a magical, magical day. So very, very exciting right now. December 1st, this is going to be a very historical day. Looking at the price action in the market right now, you see Bitcoin coming up to $92,000. Ethereum is at $3,000. Bitcoin came all the way down to $80,000 the other day. It has rebounded back to 91, I'll call it $92,000. And XRP is still sitting at $2.20, up 6.3% over the last 7 days. After also have had having a dip, XRP had a little bit of a dip. Looking at Bitcoin first, Bitcoin came down to $80,000 and has rebounded from that low about 13%. XRP, on the other hand, came all the way down to 182, and since its bounce has had about a 22% boost back up. So one thing I've noticed about XRP, and I want to talk about this spot ETF in this video, obviously, but one thing I've noticed about XRP is there is some sort of psychological bounce level that it keeps touching down to, right around the $2 price level, right about here, right at 180 to $2 has kind of been this range. We've had a lot of bounces in this zone. Generally, XRP has had a very good time staying above like the $1.50 price level. Of course, we had this giant scam wick that happened back on October 10th when we had the billions in liquidations. XRP was not immune to this crazy liquidation event day. There was a 54% retracement in a single daily candle. That was a crazy, crazy day. What I do believe is, despite the ETF coming, there is a chance that at some point in this bear market, and I still believe it's a bear market, we could see XRP fill this wick. At the very least, we might see it come back down to this trend line, unfortunately, at some point, even below $1 again. And I think there's a lot of people that don't want to hear that. But the way that these bull markets and bear markets work is the bull markets are beautiful. Things absolutely explode. And the bear markets are brutal and things absolutely crumble. And Bitcoin is not immune to that, having 76% crashes of its own in the last bear market. If Bitcoin can have a 76% crash, so can XRP. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we've got going over on the news side of things with 21 Shares XRP ETF set to launch on December 1st. Now, is this something that the markets are pricing in right now as something very bullish? If they were, I think XRP would be rallying a lot more. It seems like this story is not any kind of buy the rumor, sell the news event. It seems like it's kind of inconsequential. Instead, the reason that XRP has kind of been rebounding lately, I believe, is because Bitcoin's been rebounding lately. And that might be because we've had a very significant retracement, extreme fears kicked in. I think there were people that took advantage of buying the dip. And I think it's because later this month, next month on December 10th, we're going to have a Fed meeting where there's going to be a rate cut. And that is historically something that gets priced in a very bullish way. Now, when that announcement actually comes out, are we going to sustain this rally? Well, things like this certainly, I think, would help, right? A XRP ETF, institutions can buy spot XRP ETFs now through the traditional market. I think that's an incredible thing, but I don't think it's the thing alone that could save us from a bear market. We have these 4-year cycles for crypto. There is something to it that I have a extreme amount of convictions on personally. That is one of the reasons that I'm shorting Bitcoin right now. I'm actually shorting Bitcoin. I'm $3,500 in the profit on this Bitcoin short with a take profit stop loss set at $1,000 in the profit. Basically, if Bitcoin bounces 99K, I know I will profit $1,000 on this trade. I have also opened up a very small position on XRP. I've shorted XRP as well because I do think there is a good chance that after the story comes out of the spot ETF for XRP, that is a little bit of a sell the news event. And we easily could get a dip back down between the $1.84 range and the $2 price level. So playing a game of finding levels of support and resistance for the coins that you know and love the most, I think it's a great strategy, because if I can profit on these trades, then what I could do is, if a XRP does dip in a bear market back down below $1, and I'm lucky enough to buy XRP below $1, well, I can do so with the profits that I'm making from the trades, right? So that's the way that I'm approaching this. And I'm trading over on Blowfin. Now, in the description of this video, there is a link for Blowfin and other exchanges. But when you sign up for Blowfin, you get access to our private Discord. Now, Blacksea and I are active in that private Discord. We also have some trade signals getting put out for our group as well. Do your own research, guys. We are not financial advisors. Nothing we say is financial advice, but I do love to trade this market. And XRP is a staple to the crypto space for sure. I think that the XRP ETF is obvious, a no-brainer. The lawsuit has officially concluded. That is behind us now. Honestly, the next bull market could be very spectacular for XRP. And obviously, if the banks start adopting the XRP and it starts really replacing SWIFT, there can be a lot more opportunity to make great money just holding XRP. So in the meantime, what I'm doing is trying to get more cash, earn more cash or Bitcoin, so that when we're at our bear market lows, I can start allocating to some altcoins that I like, maybe like a Dogecoin or like an XRP, like an XRP, maybe like a Dogecoin, maybe like a Pepe, or, there's a lot of different coins out there. Doge like XRP, that's why that slipped out of my mouth, also has its own spot ETFs. That's a meme. I think there's a lot of staple coins in the space. Bitcoin, XRP, Dogecoin, even though it's a meme, I think it's a staple in the space. Solana, obviously, I think there's so many others. But in terms of where's everybody's mind at for XRP right now, taking a peek at the poly market, XRP all-time high by December 31st, only a 5% chance according to the poly market. And I happen to agree with that, because I do think there could be a broader bear market. Bitcoin typically in a bear market retraces over 70%. And I think that XRP could easily see some of the same. What are your thoughts right now on this market? What are your thoughts on XRP today and this ETF, which certainly is big news? Can it bring XRP to new highs? Is this XRP news enough to do that? Or do you more so kind of align yourself with the ideas that I'm throwing out? I'm curious how you guys are feeling. That's where my mind's at on this today. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want to do some trading, check out Blowfin in the link in the description down below. I also have it pinned in the comments for you as well. There's also a trading volume bonus. So if you do X amount of trading volume, there are prizes, like you could potentially win a Nintendo Switch or a Rolex. So check out that link down below if you want to do some trading with us over on Blowfin. That's all I got in this one, guys. I'm Crypto Kip. This is the Crypto Report. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, DCA. Hold on, my friends. 2 videos here if you want to check them out. I'll see you in the next one, y'all. Peace.